What if Battlefront 2 never stopped getting updates? Electronic Arts infamously dropped support for this game so that DICE could focus on developing Battlefield 5. Yet over the years it's developed a bit of a cult following and is now seeing a resurgence in popularity. And now it's getting actual updates again with new heroes, weapons, map updates, and more, all made by a community of dedicated modders bringing a second life to the game. This may not be an official Battlefront 3, but honestly, it's the next best thing. Let's check out how this whole thing works. So giving you access to all of this magnificence is the Kyber server browser. This is a community developed tool for finding and joining modded game servers. It automatically logs into both your EA and Nexus mods accounts, giving you access to all of your Battlefront 2 content and a growing roster of mods. And while there might not be dozens and dozens of active servers, there's still plenty enough to find matches and get right into the action. Plus, Battlefront 2 has a pretty good bot system, so even in empty servers you can still experience a full-fledged battle with all of your favorite mods. And in terms of content, it feels like the sky is the limit. Most of the servers on Kyber support a wide variety of mods, and pretty much every server I joined had dozens of additional weapons, new star cards, characters, cosmetics. It was honestly overwhelming at times just trying to pick a weapon for each class because the game was never intended to have this many weapons. But once I got over this choice paralysis, sifting through all of the new content became awesome. The new weapons include stuff from all across the Star Wars universe, and there's tons of variety in their mechanics. There's charge-up sniper rifles, plasma bomb rifles. It is a Star Wars nerd's paradise. Then there's the new characters. Ever wanted to play as a Gungan warrior and live out your Phantom Menace fantasies? Go for it. What about an Imperial probe droid? You can play as one of those too. There's even new characters like the main villain from the latest Star Wars Jedi game. Then there's other mods that add characters from The Mandalorian and other Star Wars movies and shows as well. There's even mods that tweak the design of the levels. And the quality for at least most of this content is insane. I couldn't see a clear distinction between the modded content and the official content. Like, aside from the lack of weapon info in the loadout menu, if you told me that DICE had kept adding content to Battlefront 2 since I last played and this is just how it looks now, I would totally believe you. As for the server experience, I'm happy to say that Kyber's server system is rock solid. You do have to add an exception for their executable to Windows Defender, but once you do, the launcher and browser will automatically launch Battlefront 2 and connect to the community server of your choice. I also didn't run into any cheaters, which is a pretty big issue on the game's official servers. I also didn't have any issues with connectivity or latency. Occasionally I felt as if I died around corners or behind cover, but there's also tons of weapons in the game that have AoE damage, so it's hard to tell. And it's also probably mixing in pings from all over the world to fill some of these servers, so I can't blame it too hard for that. And again, the experience is just as seamless as the official version of the game, and thanks to there being no cheaters, it's honestly better. I do have a small complaint though, in that I wish there was more public servers for Battlefront 2's excellent co-op modes. Towards the end of Battlefront 2's official content updates, DICE massively expanded the game's 4-player co-op missions, and it quickly became one of my favorite ways to play the game because it just turned every match into this cinematic battle with non-stop action. And there's plenty of co-op servers on Kyber, and you can even host your own if you want to, but a lot of the servers are password protected. This isn't a critique of Kyber itself, just kind of, I guess, the community right now and being difficult to actually get into more co-op games. Now, this experience probably will make you want to get a Nexus Mods paid account to download lots of mods quickly. I've had a paid account, so I never had to deal with the free account limitations of Nexus, and once I went paid, honestly, I just couldn't go back to the free experience. It's probably not that bad with Kyber since most servers only download a handful of mods at most, but I could imagine more extensively modded servers would be kind of a nightmare to get into without the paid Nexus account. I also ran into an issue where some servers rely on mods that Kyber just didn't have in its repository, and while I could probably track those mods down manually and get everything running, it kind of defeats the point of the ease of access that the launcher provides. A cool upgrade that Kyber made to the co-op servers is that they can actually support up to 40 players, which is awesome. It gives you a lot of different ways to play the experience that was originally limited to just 4 players. And since I couldn't find a public co-op server when I was playing, I spun one up for myself, and it was really cool seeing just how many maps are available. Going toe-to-toe with Grand Admiral Thrawn trying to capture an objective on the Death Star 2 was just peak Battlefront to me. And there's so many new heroes in the game, I found myself constantly running into characters I had never seen in the game before. Merrin from the Star Wars Jedi games is included, and the first time I saw somebody playing as her, it was just a cool feeling seeing that modders injected their favorite characters into this game. Similarly with the weapons, it's cool seeing stuff like the Sonic Blaster that fires a giant ball that does AoE damage. There weren't really any guns like this in the game before, and this mixes things up. I'm able to take on groups of entrenched enemies, and it just gives me a different way to approach combat. Now, it is important to recognize that Kyber, while important, is more or less the glue that holds this whole experience together. There's been some coverage on social media and on gaming news sites about Kyber, making it seem like it's the mod itself, and it's basically just the launcher and server system. The mods are being pulled from Nexus and added to servers by the creators of those servers, and I can say with almost a certainty that this community and popularity of these mods would not be anywhere near what they are today without Kyber centralizing that experience with an incredibly slick launcher. But all of this excellent content is being made by a huge community of modders and server hosts that are piecing it all together for their own experiences. And it really is just so cool what a community of dedicated fans and a centralized organization system for their content can do and sort of grow the game after the official content has been dropped for it. And the main feeling I got from my time with Kyber is kind of the same conclusion I always have whenever I jump back into Battlefront 2, and that's that EA and DICE should have never dropped support for this game. It is just so fantastic. Obviously, it's hard to say how financially viable supporting the game would be when it's only averaging a few thousand players a day on Steam, but Steam is just one small slice of the game's total player base, and I doubt those numbers reflect Kyber's servers. In an odd way, it seems like Battlefront 2 is actually getting more popular over time. In early summer last year, it went on an insane discount, and the player count actually hit an all-time record of 30,000 players on Steam, which is pretty good for a game that launched so long ago. Naturally, that player count did drop back down to more normal levels, but it has been steadily climbing over the past few months. Kyber and the mods getting more popular could really give Battlefront 2 a second life. In fact, it could even become the unofficial Battlefront 3 that I really feel like fans do deserve. It's certainly one of the more impressive efforts I've seen to support a game after official support has been dropped. What do you all think of Kyber? Have you tried it for yourself? Would you consider trying it now that you've seen this video? Let me know in the comments. And up next, check out Hytale, a Minecraft competitor that could, well, actually compete with Minecraft. It's a heck of a first step for an open world building game. Think you guys will enjoy it. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. This is Level Cap, signing off.